Every single breath you take is really just the beginning of this incredible journey. Today, we're going to go way past the lungs to a process that's happening constantly in like trillions of your cells, and you probably never even think about it. So let's dive into your body's silent engine, internal respiration.
So, we all get the first part of the story, right? You breathe in, your lungs do their thing, oxygen gets picked up by your blood. But then what? Where is all that oxygen actually going? What's the final stop? Answering that question is what takes us from the big picture of just breathing to the tiny, microscopic world inside every single one of our cells.
And that journey leads us right here. We're not talking about lungs anymore, not at all. We're talking about that critical moment, that handoff that happens at the cellular level. So let's unpack exactly what that means.
Okay, so what is it really? Well, in the simplest terms, internal respiration is just that exchange of gases between your bloodstream and all your body's cells. It's the absolute crucial link where your circulatory system finally delivers its vital cargo to every single part of your body.
And if you want to boil it down even further, it's really just this one sentence. Oxygen jumps from the blood into the cells, and then the waste product, carbon dioxide, jumps from the cells back into the blood. It's a simple two-way street. That's it.
Yeah, this visualizes that two-way street perfectly. Just picture a tiny little blood vessel, a capillary, squeezed up right next to a muscle cell. The whole thing is driven by a super simple principle. Stuff moves from where there's a lot of it to where there's not so much. So the blood shows up packed with oxygen, and the cell is running low. So step one, oxygen just naturally flows out of the blood and into the cell. And for step two, the cell has built up all this waste, carbon dioxide, so it naturally flows out of the cell and into the blood to get hauled away. It's this automatic, totally elegant exchange.
Okay, so we know what it is, but why? Why is this constant swap so ridiculously important? Well, this little process is basically the foundation of your body's entire power grid.
It comes down to two absolutely critical reasons. First, your cells are desperate for that oxygen. They need it to create energy, to power everything. Without it, the whole system just grinds to a halt. And second, making all that energy creates a toxic waste product, carbon dioxide. Internal respiration is the essential cleanup crew, dragging all that waste away before it can cause any real problems.
I love this analogy. Just think of your bloodstream as this massive fleet of delivery trucks. They swing by the warehouse, that's your lungs, to pick up packages of oxygen. Then they drive out to trillions of individual customers, your cells. And at every single stop, they drop off the oxygen package and pick up the trash, the carbon dioxide, to take it back to the disposal center. It's brilliant.
Now, this is a super common point of confusion. We hear the word respiration, and we immediately think of breathing. But that's only half the story. The breathing part, that's called external respiration. Let's put them side by side so the difference becomes crystal clear.
This chart just lays it all out perfectly. Okay, look at the location. External, that's in the lungs, between the little air sacs and the blood. Internal, that's happening all over your body, between the blood and your cells. And notice the gas exchange? It's a perfect mirror image. In the lungs, oxygen goes into the blood, but in the tissues, oxygen leaves the blood. The function is really the key here. External respiration gets the oxygen into the delivery truck, but internal respiration is the actual delivery to the customer's front door.
So look, if you remember just one thing about the difference between these two, make it this: location, location, location. External is in the lungs, internal is everywhere else, in all of your body's cells. One loads the system, the other makes the delivery. Simple as that.
All right, so as we start to wrap this all up, let's just zoom out for a second and really appreciate the sheer scale and, frankly, the importance of this process that we've just broken down.
At the end of the day, it all boils down to this really simple, elegant idea. It is a constant, silent trade happening on a microscopic level, all over your body right this very second. Fuel in, waste out. That is the fundamental transaction that is keeping you alive and moving.
And that just leaves us with a final thought here. This isn't something that happens a few times a minute. It's happening constantly, in trillions of cells, all working together perfectly, without you ever having to think about it. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Just how much energy, how much silent, invisible work is your body doing every single second, just to exist? It's kind of mind-blowing. Thanks for joining us.